I've listened to Cage the Elephant's self-titled debut for 8 years.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spin It, the record ranking podcast for people who'd rather be listening to music. I'm James, and with me, uncaged and unelephant, it's Connor.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I was gonna do my best elephant impression, but if I'm not an elephant, I guess I can't do that.
No, you could change my mind. I don't know, I'm open to...
Nope. I'm unelephant. Sorry. You just robbed the audience of my amazing elephant impression.
Are you sure?
That it's amazing? Absolutely.
No, are you sure that you want to rob the audience of that?
I didn't rob them.
Fine, keep it in a cage. We'll see before the episode's over. Well, this week we're talking about Cage the Elephant. Interesting week. It's not really a year of redemption pick, because we haven't done Cage the Elephant before, but I picked it this year in hopes that it would still be sort of a redemption pick, because... I first listened to this album back, I believe, in the summer of 2017. It's been a long time, and it wasn't my favorite at the time. I decided, what if we put it on the podcast so I could come back to it, revisit it, and see if it's grown on me at all, as my music tastes have evolved and expanded over the last 8 years. I've listened to it in the time since then, of course, but I wanted to see if I could improve my own opinion of it by bringing it for the podcast and learning more about it and about the band. And so, in a certain sense, it kind of is a redemption pick, and I'm excited about that. You ever heard of Cage the Elephant?
Oh, of course.
Yeah?
Couldn't name a single song by him, but I've heard of them.
You've heard the name. Yeah, they're one of those blank the blank bands.
Yeah, I love a good blank the blank band.
Yeah, we've talked about a few of them. And there's still many more that we haven't talked about yet. We haven't talked about Cage the Elephant specifically, but the good news is you can talk about an elephant in the cage. If it was just, in the room, we really couldn't address that.
Yeah, we couldn't address that, but when that room is a cage, that's a different story.
That's a different story. We could talk about that elephant. How do you feel about, garage rock in general?
I prefer my rock to be in the basement.
It could be basement rock, too.
I'm a basement rock guy.
I could see that being the case.
I prefer my garage to be filled with a car.
Not an elephant, I see.
And yes, I pronounced it garage.
Like an elephant would.
Yeah, that's how elephants pronounce it.
Oh, that's your elephant impression?
My elephant's British.
I bet you maybe have heard some songs from this album.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet Ain't No Rest for the Wicked probably... Actually, I know it's crossed your path. We'll get there in a minute, but... I know you know it.
I didn't say I didn't know any songs from the album. I said I couldn't name any songs by the band. If you just been like, oh, do you know who Cage the Elephant? Before this episode.
Right, you and your loopholes.
The usual
situation. I love bringing you something that's totally new. Let's talk about him. Cage the Elephant is probably rare for us that we have an artist from Kentucky, right? I don't remember the last artist we've had from Kentucky.
From Turkey.
Surely there's been one. But Cage the Elephant is. They are from Bowling Green, Kentucky, just about an hour from Nashville, which is super cool. I've been through Bowling Green many a time. The place where they make all the Corvettes is there, the Corvette factory. The founding members of Cage the Elephant include vocalist and guitarist Matt Schultz, his brother, guitarist and keyboardist Brad Schultz, bassist Daniel Tickenor, drummer Jared Champion, just a great name. Jared Champion, he can't lose. And then guitarist and keyboardist Lincoln Parrish was also in the founding lineup, but he left the band in 2013. Today, Cage the Elephant also includes Mathen Minster and Nathan Bockrath, both of which sound like fake names. Before they were all together in a band, before they were all caged as one elephant, they worked all sorts of different odd jobs. Plumbers, construction, sandwich making, pet stores, Lowe's, kind of just a range of trade and service jobs. But in high school, they had been in a band together called Perfect Confusion. They even put out a record of their own in 2005. And Matt Schultz also had experience in a band called Left Nostril. Surely another name for our Hall of Name.
It's a pretty great name. It definitely deserves a place in the Hall of Name.
I don't know. It's not that great of a name. Left Nostril. Honestly, Nostril feels better than being specific about right or left. Maybe that's why they named the band after elephants eventually, because elephants have the longest left nostril nostril, probably, of any animal.
It's a pretty long, I mean, rivaled only by that of the anteater, probably.
Yeah, and they're so small. Probably per body size, the anteater's longer proportionally.
Exactly.
Wait, but that's its tongue, not its... What? How? Where's an anteater's nose?
I think it's on the long snout, isn't it? Is the nose there? Or is it farther up by the eyes? I don't know.
It appears to be on the snout, yeah.
They're just such weird animals.
They are. Cage the Anteater. A similar but very different band. Anyway, Schultz is in left nostril. The band is together in high school. Perfect confusion. They were playing shows and getting out there. And in 2006, they greeted a fan who had some mental disabilities and kept saying that they had to cage the elephant. And wouldn't you know, they kind of liked that name. They took that interaction and changed it into a band name.
Good name.
Cage the elephant. It always makes me think of that old proverb / joke. How do you eat an elephant?
I don't know what you're referring to.
You don't know how to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time?
One bite at a time. How can you do absolutely know what I was referring to. What?
I've never heard that. That just in my head was the logical response.
That is the correct response. You eat an elephant one bite at a time.
I've never heard that.
It's part riddle / joke, but people say it as a metaphor. Oh, how do I tackle this giant thing in my life? You just do it bit by bit, piece by piece, until you get through it.
Okay.
You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And I keep thinking of that when I hear cage the elephant. How do you cage the elephant? One bar at a time.
One bar at a time.
Oh, that works too because they make music in bars. So Perfect Confusion was perfectly confused by that fan, and then they went all in on the name change and kept touring around. They got some real attention after playing South by Southwest, which landed them a contract with Relentless Records and sent them on tour supporting Queens of the Stone Age. They took their show on the road like a circus elephant. I don't know, I'm trying to make elephant things happen. But they decided to leave the States altogether and make a big move across the pond to London, where they have their garages. Apparently, at the time, Lincoln was so young that his parents had to make the other band members of Cage the Elephant his legal guardians so that he could move over to Europe, which is pretty wild. What if I had to be your legal guardian to do the podcast? That's the equivalent of that-ish.
That is, I'd be okay with it. You'd make a good legal guardian.
Really? Thank you. I've been told I have dad energy, and I'm sure that translates to legal guardian energy. You should hear all my legal guardian jokes.
How do you eat a legal guardian?
One right at a time. In all seriousness, though, if you were going to eat a legal guardian, you'd probably have to turn them into some kind of pudding.
Sorry, what?
Because if you're going to eat a legal guardian, they got to get custody.
Oh my gosh. I hate it.
There's more where that came from, son.
I take it all back. I don't want you as a legal guardian.
Sorry, legally guarded.
Legal ward.
But Cage the Elephant, despite the big move, they stayed hard at work. By June 23rd, 2008, their self-titled proper debut record would be ready for release in the UK. That's the album we're talking about today, Cage the Elephant. They produced the album with help from Jay Joyce. We talked about Joyce's work with Eric Church, Lainey Wilson, Emmylou Harris, plenty of others. Honestly, he comes up a lot in more modern country music contexts. So to find his name on this Cage the Elephant record was a little surprising. That's not all he's done, of course, but just predominantly that's how I know him. The album, as you now know, is this kind of gritty garage rock record, the likes of which we haven't really talked about yet. I think we've probably come a little close with some pop punk and punk stuff, maybe a little bit of Green Day, Machine Gun Kelly-ish vibes, but not quite. It's a little bit like The Strokes blended together with Ice Nine Kills or something. I don't know. Cage the Elephant, this record just feels really unique in my mind. The album did pretty well. In the UK, Cage the Elephant went to number 38 on the charts in its first week, and when the record was released stateside on March 24th, 2009, it entered the Billboard 200 at number 171 and would climb as high as number 67. The first two singles, Free Love and In One Ear, they weren't really huge anywhere. England, America, they're just kind of lukewarm. But the band's sort of breakthrough moment happened with their third single, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That song ended up at number 1 on the Alternative Songs chart in the US. It hit number 32 on the UK singles chart, and it got tons of radio play and TV spots. It's featured in the opening sequence of the popular video game Borderlands. It's in the title sequence of the first episode of the show Lucifer, which is one that I know you've seen and where you've heard that song for sure. It just got around. Have you played Borderlands?
I have not.
Oh, well, if and when you do, keep an ear out. Keep an elephant ear out.
I don't have an elephant ear.
Oh, and fair season is over.
Yeah.
Honestly, what a weird thing to name a food.
That's what you got.
Today, the record is certified platinum, and again, I just wanted to bring this record because it didn't click for me the first time through. There's some stuff to love, there's a couple of songs that I really like, but a few good songs do not a great album make, and I don't know, just never really clicked for me the first time through, and I wanted to redeem it a little bit. Now, I have given them a second chance. I've gone on to rank later Cage the Elephant albums. Specifically, I definitely went to Mellophobia. I don't know, I probably just need one or two more from their post-debut period to really get a good sense of it, because one thing that happens post their debut is, of course, their sound and their style start evolving, and they become less derivative, more unique. They start to find their voice in their niche.
Derivative.
I said what I said. But anyway, yeah, the band's second album, Thank You, Happy Birthday, it's still pretty punk, still pretty similar to this, but 2013's Mellophobia started to sound like something brand new, a little bit. Not much at all, like the Cage the Elephant self-titled record. And meanwhile, they're becoming ever more popular. They played Coachella, they appeared on late night TV, they toured with the Foo Fighters, who we talked about on episode 127. They also earned some big-time MTV awards, and they were Rolling Stone's Best New Artist in 2011. Mellophobia was really another big commercial turning point for the band. Singles like Cigarette Daydreams really took the band to new heights. Some members of Cage the Elephant also started little elephant families in this era, little pachyderm packs. Brad and Jared both had kids in 2013 and 14. Their fourth record, Tell Me I'm Pretty, was produced by the Black Keys' Dan Auerbach, who helped them experiment with sounds and push into even more psychedelic territory, which is cool. And their album Social Cues also turned heads. It won the Best Rock Album Grammy in 2020. And to date, the band's most recent project is Neon Pill, a record that came out in January of 24, following a several-year break from new music. They decided to get back into it. It, too, earned a Grammy nomination in 2025. And Cage the Elephant is also opening for Oasis on their massive 2025 reunion tour in the United States. So that's cool. If I knew anything other than Wonderwall, I feel like I'd go see Oasis. And then I'd end up seeing Cage the Elephant by default.
Yeah.
I should put them on the Albums of the Month list. I should do some Oasis. We can get an Oasis episode. So anyway, that's Cage the Elephant. 6 studio albums since 2008. We're focusing on the first of them. As for their awards and accolades, they've got 2 Grammy wins on 4 nominations. They were nominated for Best Alternative Music Performance with Neon Pill, and Mellophobia was Best Alternative Music Album. They won 2 Best Rock Album awards for Tell Me I'm Pretty and Social Cues. Shake Me Down got an MTV Video Music Award nomination for Best Rock Video, and they've been nominated for 6 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Not too bad for an elephant.
Not too bad.
But that's just the tip of the trunk. There's so much more elephant to follow.
That's what they always say. When you find the trunk, there's a lot more elephant to follow.
That's right. You're only at the beginning. Is the mixtaper ready? As always, when we have episodes about animals, I'm always worried that some of these facts will be elephant-inspired, and I won't know what's true and what's not. Snail mail comes to mind. Ugh.
He's actually still coming back from his coffee run. He's not quite ready.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Oh, good. Here he is.
Oh,
he
perfect.
just got back in.
Perfect timing. Thank goodness. Well, let's get him in here. Let's put him on the mic with his coffee and see what he's come up with.
Hey, it's me, the mixtaper.
Hello, you mixer of tapes.
Today I'm feeling more like a taper of mixes.
Oh, no? Yeah, sometimes you never can tell. Back and forth between the two. Made a coffee run. How'd that go?
Good, yeah. Delivered coffee to the people who ordered it, so.
Oh, that kind of run? That's very interesting.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Well, I thought you were running to get coffee, not to give it.
No, I could just make coffee. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. How much coffee do you think it would take to wake an elephant up? That'd probably be a lot. Elephant trunks can hold approximately 2.5 gallons of water. So probably they can hold 2.5 gallons of coffee, too. And they suck up water, wow, at 3 liters per second, faster than a human sneeze.
Alrighty, let's get right into it, shall we?
Okay, no more trunk facts.
Let's start here. They got saved by the Foo.
Saved by the Foo? Is this from their tour with the Foo Fighters?
No.
Oh, whoa. What is this? Is it Foo Fighter related, or is there some other Foo at play?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What did the Foo do?
Actually, I guess they were technically saved by a Foo Fighter, but that didn't sound as good.
Well, no. Saved by the Foo. The parallelism with Saved by the Bell is very satisfying.
Yeah. They were bailed out of hot water by none other than Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. What kind of hot water were they in?
Lack of a drummer.
Oh, Interesting. Their drummer can't make it. Why? What's wrong with Jared Champion?
Yeah, Jared Champion ended up at the wrong venue.
Oh, that's not very champion of him.
No.
How did that happen?
There was some sort of mix-up, not of the presidential variety, but
No.
but still, there was some sort of mix-up, and he ended up at, I guess, the same name venue, but in a different city.
Oh, that's horrific.
Yeah.
So they're stuck without a drummer. Presumably he can't get there in time for the show. Dave Grohl, what happens to be in the neighborhood?
Dave Grohl's in town. Yeah, he's in the neighborhood.
He's not on tour with them. He's just in the neighborhood.
Friendly neighborhood Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Friendly neighborhood Foo Fighter.
Friendly neighborhood fighter man.
Fooder man. Yeah, and so Dave Grohl happens to be around, and they're like, Dave Grohl, we don't have a drummer because he's an idiot. And he's like, well, I'm not doing anything tonight. I'll fill in. And so he fills in on drums.
As he should. I'm not doing anything tonight. I'll fill in. Cage the Elephant and Foo Fighter crossover. Pretty awesome. Did they play any special songs? You know, sometimes when you have a guest artist on, you'd like cover My Hero or something. But maybe since it was so spontaneous, they couldn't do that. I don't know.
No, he played their set.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I just didn't know if they threw a special one in there for him or not.
Oh, I don't know.
That's cool. So it's just a one-stop thing, huh?
Yep, just a one-stop thing. And I guess when they came out on stage and like announced it, the crowd was there to see them, and they were like, so our drummer Jared, he's not able to make it tonight, so we had to get a substitute drummer. And I guess the crowd was a bit apprehensive at the idea of there being a substitute drummer, a bit tentative.
Uh-huh.
But then when Dave Grohl came out and sat behind the drum, started up the opening set, Schultz said, it's one of those moments I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Crowd went wild.
Yeah, you don't forget playing with the Foo Fighters. That's very fun. I think this is a fact. They were obviously pretty close with the Foo Fighters from the tour and things. And why not? Dave Grohl, we've talked about, he's a nice guy. We talked about how the Foo Fighters seem to have done everything with everybody. So I would totally believe that.
This is a fact.
Oh, yay.
But not the way I've presented it.
No, really? Oh, these are the worst. These are the worst.
Yeah, these are the worst. These are the worst. I haven't done it to you in a while. Yeah, Dave Grohl did fill in as Cage the Elephant's drummer, but it was during 2011 when they were on tour with them, when Jared Champion was rushed to the hospital with a burst appendix just hours before the show.
Oh, appendicitis.
Yeah.
That's rough.
So I took that story and I put a fun little twist on it.
That just Dave Grohl, friendly neighborhood Dave Grohl was in town. I was surprised that it wasn't when they were on tour.
Yeah, and that Jared Champion went to the wrong venue. I thought I'd take what was a fun and cool fact, but a little predictable, and tried to make it into a dastardly spin.
That was pretty dastardly.
Yeah.
But you've done well. I feel tricked. I feel bamboozled.
Bamboozled. Up next, Matt Schultz had his pockets stolen.
What? That sounds like the old joke you used to pull on people where you say, hey, you dropped your pocket, and they go, what? And they look because you think, oh, you dropped your wallet or dropped something out, but then they fall for it. He had his pockets stolen?
Yeah, he lost his pocket.
Well, lost and stolen are two totally different things.
Well, it was stolen. I mean, when it's stolen, you've lost it.
That's true, but not all losses are stolen.
Yeah, but all things stolen are lost.
So, we talking pants pockets?
Yeah.
How did he lose a pocket? Did it come unsewn? Was there a hole in it? I guess that's just the Polar Express, and that's just losing things out of your pocket.
Well, no, it was stolen.
Stolen. How did someone steal his pocket?
Ripped them right off.
By, like, grabbing him and yanking?
Yeah.
Why? Front pockets, butt pockets. What are we talking?
I actually don't know front or butt. I like to imagine butt.
Somebody's getting pretty friendly with him there to grab and rip from
Yeah,
that.
well, this is while he was crowd surfing, so.
Oh, that's a way easier butt pocket stealing situation.
Yeah.
Do you think it was an accident, or do you think there was malice and forethought behind this?
I don't know how you accidentally use enough force to rip somebody's pocket off.
Well, in the heat of the moment, in a crowd surfing situation, I could see it. Was there anything in the pocket? I mean, did he get it back?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think pockets were empty. Just his pocket was stolen. Don't think he got it back.
Wow, I think this is a spin.
A spin? Why?
It's too awesome of a fact to be true. It's just too funny.
Dang.
Two factor spinnable. It feels like a spin. Even though it seems super plausible, I just think you, in the same way of like Petty Zoo, where you thought up the concept of a petty zoo and then made something to fit it. I just think you liked the idea of a pocket being stolen and found a way to make that happen.
This is a true fact.
This is a true fact. Oh, and there's a quote. Had people steal my pockets, like rip them off. I think that's even weirder than getting something put in my pocket. What's happened to him more than once?
He was asked in an interview what was the weirdest thing someone's put in your pocket while you've been crowd surfing, and that was his answer.
That is strange. Do people put things in pockets during crowd surfing?
Apparently.
Yikes. Maybe he's better to crowd surf without pockets.
Maybe.
But then they just rip the pants. I don't know. Maybe he needs fake pockets on his pockets. That's my next $1 million idea. A pocket socket. Well, that's a bummer. I'm on pace for my worst week in
A while.
year 5. Save for the Beach Boys. Oh, and I guess save for Remy Wolf, too.
But you do like to play from behind.
You're right. I have been doing okay at playing from behind lately, but that's only in Fast Fired Facts.
Jared and Matt got weird gifts.
Oh, more weird gifts. Olivia Rodrigo just had weird gifts. Just had that shoehorn ice cream scoop.
And actually, technically, Jared gave a gift, and then Matt got a weird gift.
What are these weird gifts?
Well, let's take it one story at a time, shall we?
One story at a time. Jared gave a weird gift.
Yeah.
Was it a shoehorn?
It was dog poop.
It was dog poop?
Yeah.
Why was this a gift? Like leaving it on someone's porch on fire?
It was for his brother.
For his brother. Why did his brother want dog poop?
I don't think he did. I think it was more of like a practical joke gift.
It certainly is impractical, but jokey. How does his brother feel about that?
Well, he got it mailed to him.
Oh, through like one of those internet service things where you can send it anonymously?
That's not how I took it. I took it as he physically mailed dog poop to his brother living in New Jersey.
From what, Kentucky? That far?
Yeah, I mean, wherever is Kentucky where they're at, right?
Or England, depending on when this happened.
Dude, if it was English dog poop, it's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild. The only way I'd be like somewhat, oh wow, about that is if it was from like the Queen's Yorkies or something. I can't even think of another British dog. Over here, we got tons of them. We got Clifford, we got Scooby-Doo, we got others.
We've got others.
Anyway, any more info about this gift?
Nope.
Weird.
Isn't there a whole movie about the Queen's corgis?
Oh, maybe. So what weird gift is Matt receiving? And is this related?
Dog poop. No.
Ah.
Yeah, he received a shark.
A shark. We've had a lot of shark facts lately. Where did he get a shark from? Did someone put it in his pocket while he was crowd surfing?
Yeah, and it was a gift.
But how do you receive a gift shark? Does it come in a tank?
With open arms.
Well, no, not in.
You don't look it in the mouth. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, but like, how do you receive it? Does it come in a tank? Do you have to choose where you want it delivered in a tank? Like,
I don't know if it was delivered or if it was just like, here's a free shark.
who'd it come from?
I don't know.
What'd he do with it?
I don't know. It's a mystery for the mystery department.
Did it have a name?
You're going to hate me, but I don't know.
Well, that is to be expected. Is there anything else that you do know about the shark?
Nope.
Well,
It's another mystery for the Spin It Mystery Department.
yeah. I'm going to say this one's a spin. I'm going to say this one's a spin based around rough concepts related to cages and elephants. I think there's some service where you can send people elephant poop. I'm almost sure of it. And when you go look at sharks, you got to get in that diving cage, you know? You got to stay safe. I just think this is a cage and an elephant fact, and you swapped them around so they wouldn't be in cage then elephant order. I don't know.
You're trying to dive into the mind of the mixtaper, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Well, that's why I'm doing it in a cage.
Well, you thought that these were not shark-infested waters, but they are. This is a true fact.
This is a true fact?
I didn't have enough information to make a full, like, it would have been over really fast if I just went to shark, so I also included the poop one to give us a little more to talk about on this fact, but both are true.
And another direct quote. Man, I thought for sure that would be cage and elephant. That felt very suspicious of you to present two things. Usually when there's two, one of them is a spin or you leave yourself a little leeway.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I knew. Listen, I was playing into I knew that you would play the mixtaper, not the game. And so I mixtapered you instead of gamed you.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow, this is going to be my first loss in 9 episodes.
In a while? Well, yeah.
Since the Beach Boys. So I guess in less than 9 episodes. That happened in 209. This was happening in 218. But will it be a shutout? I don't know. I just knew. I knew the fall was coming. I was riding so high. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and there's not much bigger than an elephant.
You ready for our final rant?
No.
Have I only done 2? No, I've done 3.
You've done 3. I'm just not ready.
I was like, did I mess up?
I've missed 3. How could I say I'm ready?
I don't know. That's fair.
But I guess I'm prepared. I'm ready. With open arms, I receive the final rant.
Jared
Champion.
wants to fight Danny DeVito.
Very specific. Why does he want to fight Danny DeVito?
Actually, that's a little misleading. He actually wants to fight a Danny DeVito-sized bear.
Oh, that is a little different. A Danny DeVito-sized bear.
Yeah, it was more shock value to say fight Danny DeVito.
It was. Very confusing. Is that the biggest bear that he thinks he could fight?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the biggest he thinks he can fight. It's just one I think he knows he can.
I mean, look, realistically, you can fight any bear.
It's whether or not you win.
You can't win a fight against many of them, but you sure can fight any bear. Well, why is this coming up? Why does he want to fight bears at all?
It's just, I think that's the best option.
You think it's the best option to fight a bear?
A Danny DeVito-sized bear.
But what other options are there? To not fight a bear?
Bigger bears?
No, but why is he trying to fight bears in the first place?
I mean, you could be fighting a bear-sized Danny DeVito.
That would be more fun.
Be harder.
Not really. I mean, he's old.
Imagine, no. Imagine like Danny DeVito from like Always Sunny and that chaotic energy, but bear-sized. Be pretty terrifying.
Danny DeVito, he's currently, he's 4'10". He's 80 years old. I could take a bear-sized 80-year-old down.
I'd like to see it. That's our next piece of supplemental content. James fights an 80-year-old that's the size of a bear.
Well, can it be a Danny DeVito-sized bear? But why is he talking about this? 4'10". Why is he talking about fighting bears?
Why not?
I'm confused. There's no other context to this?
Not really. No.
Well, So am I just guessing whether he said he could fight a Danny DeVito-sized bear? That's it?
Yeah, he didn't actually fight a Danny DeVito-sized bear.
Well, thank goodness.
He just would rather do that.
But you keep saying would rather.
Well, I mean, just compared to the other options.
The other options include not fighting a bear, though, right?
I mean, it's either that or a bigger bear or a Danny DeVito, bear-sized Danny DeVito.
Or a smaller bear.
You could go a smaller bear, but that wasn't an option.
I'm losing my mind. Like the options for what? What?
The options.
This is an Always Sunny bit. You're just saying because of the implication. He doesn't want to fight another bear because of the implications. Like, what do I do with that?
It is what that feels like, isn't it?
Yes. Sure. This is a fact. He probably said it in the same interview for no reason.
Go with fact.
Why not?
Think I pulled all 3 of these from the same interview?
It is certainly possible, if not likely. Certainly possible.
Does it change your mind, if at all, if I give you the last little detail I have, which is Matt agrees?
Well, that does sound like it comes from the same interview. Matt agrees. What, that Jared Champion could fight?
That fighting a Danny DeVito-sized bear is the better option?
Oh, but his name is Champion. So maybe there's something about that.
I'm going to need an answer.
I guess I'm just going to stick with fact.
Alrighty.
I can't do any worse than get shut out.
I can't believe you're going to let me get away with bear-sized Danny DeVito.
You may harm my factor spin score, but you cannot harm my spirit.
This is a fact.
A fact. Oh, a fact. I saved it. No, it's not from the interview. It looks like it's from a Reddit AMA.
It is from the interview. All of these are from a Reddit AMA.
Oh.
I found all 4 of these facts from a Reddit AMA from 12 years ago.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
A dozen years old.
Thought there was some very wild information. I think all the Spin It podcast fans should reach out to Cage the Elephant and find out if he stands by his Danny DeVito-sized bear assessment.
Yeah, now that Danny DeVito's 12 years older, maybe the tables have turned.
Yeah.
There's only 68 back then. That's different than the 80-year-old Danny DeVito of today.
It's true.
Well, that was ridiculous. That was thoroughly ridiculous and confusing. Of the options, I'd say I've decided to be confused and wrong a lot. I do think I'd rather play Factor Spin against a bear-sized mixtaper rather than a mixtaper-sized bear.
That is fair. That is bear.
A bear fair. That'd be fun. We'll see you next week, mixtaper.
Yeah.
Well, gone without a word. Fun stuff. Welcome back, Connor. Connor the elephant.
No, you already ruined it.
No, but
You've put me in a cage.
Well, and what else do you put in cages?
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my.
You're what?
What?
You said, oh my. I said, you're what?
My elephant.
Cage my elephant. Let's talk about this album art.
Let's.
It's colorful. It's explosive.
Doesn't look like an elephant at all.
No, it's more like a human skull situation, but made out of like tube and intestine looking things. There's swirls and there's dots and there's splatters.
I guess you could have like a Dumbo situation going on. I could trick my brain into seeing an elephant out of the like center bit of strings.
Like where the eyes would be and the stuff on a skull.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I can kind of see like on the left where their right eye, us looking at the left eye would be. Kind of looks like ears.
There is an eyeball right in the middle of that, like spokes at the top of the cranium.
Yeah. But if you just look at like the outer edge of it, it kind of looks like a giant ear.
Yeah.
Where the other eye is, you could argue is like a little baby trunk.
True. I wish I had more information about this, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Yeah, it's very eye-catching, but very, like, obscure. I don't really think there's much you can, like, understand about the album from looking at this. Although, it's chaotic in kind of a visual way that really mirrors the sonic chaos that you're about to enter into. I think there are a few standout tracks on this album for me. I think a lot of the album kind of stays at one level, but there are a few tracks that rise above the rest.
And is In One Ear one of them?
Well, yeah, thankfully In One Ear and Right Out the Other is a track that I definitely like better from this record. It was the second single when they first put out the record, but then after Ain't No Rest for the Wicked took off, they re-released In One Ear as the fifth single.
Whoa.
So it kind of got a double dip.
Kind of got downgraded too.
Well, there's no way they could release it as the second one again. I mean...
That sounds like quitter talk.
I think they went 1, 2, 3, and then they had Ain't No Rest for the Wicked come out, and they went, oh, shoot! And then they went 1, 2 again for numbers 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea. I mean, downgrade, I guess, but it technically was an upgrade for the song, because it went to number 1 on the alternative songs chart after the reissue, and today it's certified platinum.
Wow.
What did you think of In One Ear?
I liked it. I thought the instrumental at the beginning was a great intro to this album.
Yeah.
45 seconds of just, here's what our sound is.
It's gritty. It's garagey.
Yeah.
Very 2009. It reminds me a lot of The Strokes in a lot of ways. I feel like they took a lot of inspiration from that sort of early alt music and kind of built it into their own edgier, punkier sound from that kind of route.
I'll be honest, I actually, in a shocking turn of events, preferred the verses to the chorus of this song.
Interesting. That is a shocking turn of events.
I was really vibing with the verse when he finally started singing, and then when we hit the chorus, it just wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, I think.
Would you say it went in one ear and right out the other?
I don't know if it ever successfully got in.
Whoa!
I don't know, it felt a little... Like the hook, the rhythm and the hook just didn't feel like to like line up the way I wanted it to compared to the rest of the song.
Well, that makes sense. For me, I just think it's like when he wrote lyrics to all the verses, he completely disregarded how much time he would have to sing them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because some of these, and it's not exclusive to In One Ear, but he just starts cramming in syllables and he's taking breaths in places that he just has to breathe. Like, it's a very like unpolished composition all throughout the album. And that's very interesting. He also tackles a lot of big things in the lyrics. I'm an antisocial anarchist who sounds like so-and-so. People are talking bad about the band, putting him down, and every negative thing that they say about him goes in one ear and right out the other, because he knows he's the best, and people will end up kissing the back of his hand. That's pretty much what he's trying to say. And it's a good, like, self-empowerment sort of thing, just to black out all the haters. It's defiant. It's that punk attitude that you probably would expect from a song like this. I do like the chorus for In One Ear. It's got a good hookiness to it. I don't know. I think the verses feel a little rushed and crammed, and the chorus is a nice spot for it to breathe.
I kind of liked it. I kind of liked how fast it was. I just like that. I liked the syncopation of the occasional just rushed word.
That's true. That does add a unique rhythmic dynamic to it.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I didn't care for the chorus as much, because it kind of slows down, right?
Yeah.
Because it's more melodic, but it goes in one ear and right out the other. And so maybe I just was enjoying the faster paced sections of the song than the more melodic.
Yeah, the gear shift is jarring. But yeah. Also a fun fact about In One Ear, they made regional variants of the music video. Depending on whether you're in the US or the UK, you got a different music video. And then 10 years later, for the anniversary, they made a third music video. This song really got videographed. I don't know. But then we move into track 2, No, you're not dreaming. No, it's not episode 21. It's not episode 196. We're still right here on episode 218. But once again, we find ourselves talking about James Brown.
There it is.
But this time, the song. I cannot think of James Brown without thinking of Bougie Poogie and That Poor Pup and the Shotgun Bathroom. I mean, really, the James Brown episode has altered so many of my associations with that man.
It's a wild one. I love it when that happens, though. When, like, you now... Like, that's one of my favorite things about the podcast is when I hear an artist or a song and immediately think of a really obscure random fact.
Yes, and it's happened to a lot of them. Like Jay-Z with his shuttle, Florence and the Machine smelling things. Anyway, James Brown is the next song on the album. Basically, you tried to be a copycat, and it didn't go well, right? Another James Brown, you made the same sound. It's kind of an ode to originality. You have to carve your own path, do your own thing. Some sunny day, they're going to come for you. Like, even if you think you're getting away with it, you think you're so sly, you're going to get your comeuppance. And it's going to burst in there like James Brown with a shotgun into the boardroom. There's some dissonance in James Brown that I really like. Some of the ways that they use the lead guitar to like make your ear tweak a little bit. It's very well done. It's the same just mess of sound though. Everything is loud on this album. There's not a lot of nuance or subtlety to the instruments or the vocals, which tend to be pretty yelly.
I didn't care for the singing on this one as much. And I don't know if it was because of a lack of support from the instrumentation or if it was the slightly higher pitch or if it was the... I don't know what about it was irking me, but there was something it wasn't what I wanted.
I do. Well, a little bit. For me, it's the mix. It's that all the other instruments are so loud, his voice is so flat and kind of like nasally, like there's not a lot of depth to the tone of his voice.
Nasally is a good word for it.
And it just gets drowned out by the chaos of instruments going on around him. In One Ear's a little more balanced, but James Brown and on down the album, there's definitely a lot of that mud of everything is loud. And not every instrument has its own little sonic space to live. The frequencies, right? Everything kind of feels soupy in the middle. An elephant is big, but you got it all in one cage.
I like that.
Thank you. I've thought about this album a lot. I mean, when I first listened to it, when I first scored it, and gearing up for this episode, I've had a lot of time to reflect on how I feel about this Cage the Elephant record. But of course, the first two songs on the album can be what they are. We're moving into the undisputed heavyweight champion of the album, and that's Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. I mean, it towers above the rest. 10 times more streams than the second most popular song on the album. We've already talked about Ain't No Rest for the Wicked was the third single. It was the big one. It went to number 92 on the Hot 100 and number 3 on the alternative song charts in the US. In the UK, it cracked the top 40. And today, it is an 8 times platinum single in America, which is a lot. And of course, it was huge, and it's continued to be huge. We talked about how it's in the Borderlands franchise. It's got placements in the movie Bounty Hunter. It's in an episode of The Vampire Diaries and Jersey Shore, and 13 Reasons Why, Hawaii Five-0, Lucifer. I know you know it from Lucifer. I remember you making me watch the first episode of Lucifer, the pilot, which has this song in it.
I did not make you watch it. You just watched it on your own. Thank you very much.
I thought you made me watch it. I definitely watched it with you.
Nope. I will go find it, because when you told me you started Lucifer, my reaction to you was, really? That doesn't seem like your kind of show at all. And you're like, I've heard good things. And I was like, okay. And then you watched an episode or two, and you went, yeah, that's not for me.
Well,
and I was like, that's what I thought.
If I heard good things, it's because I heard them from you. But I remember watching the pilot, and I was like, oh, Cage the Elephant.
All I know is I did not recommend that one to you. So don't try to burn me with that.
Maybe not. Maybe someone else did. I'm not trying to burn you with it. Anyway, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. Apparently, Matt Schultz was working at his plumbing job when the inspiration struck for the lyrics. He had a buddy that said it to him. He was talking about how much he was working or something, and his friend said, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. He's like, wow, great song title. So he quickly wrote down his lyrics on a piece of drywall because, plumber. So that's wild. Wild origin story there. It's got a whole different energy than the first two songs. The slide guitar really contributes a lot to Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. And the lyrics are almost more chanted than sung in most places.
Yeah, I did recognize this song once I started. I wouldn't have been able to tell you anything about it before I hit play.
That's always how it goes.
I'm not surprised this song took off.
Yeah, it's got a little more careful construction than the first two kind of reckless songs.
And in this scenario, the more melodical chorus works.
Yeah, and it acts as a really nice touchstone between these three kind of anecdotal stories about, running into a sex worker, getting robbed, and then seeing a TV preacher exploiting his congregation. the chorus kind of serves as a nice touch point, a nice way that unites all three of those things under the common umbrella of a theme. Ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good. That makes me feel good about all the rest that I get.
It flies by. I mean, it's 2 minutes and 55 seconds, but it's like a blink and you miss it song for some reason.
Yeah. Well, that's because, I mean, despite being the biggest and most well-known song on the album, it is the second shortest. You're not calibrated to listen to a song of this length.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, I mean, I was 4 minutes on In One Ear, 3 minutes 20 on the James Brown, and followed immediately up by another 4 minutes. So yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. But what a song. Definitely another bright spot on the album for me.
What a song.
But overdone. I think just because it's so...
Overdone. Wow.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's so different than the rest of the album. It's not really like a representative...
But there ain't no rest for the wicked.
That's why it's overdone. It can't rest. There ain't no rest for the wicked.
Maybe that's because this song is wicked good.
Oh, not bad. Tiny Little Robots is up next.
Now imagine this.
Imagining.
Tiny little robot elephants.
Awesome. I'd love that.
I have one.
You have a tiny little robot elephant?
Yeah, well, robot's a loose word, but yes.
Whoa.
It's one of those animatronic elephants that it's battery powered. You turn it on and it like walks forward and then like makes a little elephant noise, rears up on its back 2 legs.
What kind of an elephant noise?
Yeah, I'm not falling for that one.
Oh man, I thought I'd get you.
Yeah, so it'll like take a few steps forward and then it'll like rear up on its back 2 legs, make an elephant noise, and then walk a little forward again.
Why do you have that?
My secrets are my own. No.
Wow. Fantastic. You have a tiny little elephant robot. I hope you don't keep it caged.
It's buried in my closet somewhere, so basically.
Closet the elephant. Basically, you're a robot. They designed your life, right? That's the line that sums up Tiny Little Robots. We're all just itty-bitty little puppets on strings, right? Verse 3, fill our eyes with money, vanity, that's cunning. Only on the surface diamonds look so stunning. Mass deception altered our perception. Again, this album just tries to tackle a lot. And the vocal, again, is sharp. It's not a ton of depth there. Little yelly, little intense, but a little better balanced, I think, than James Brown, even though I like the song less.
Tiny Little Robots. I like the distorted guitar.
Yeah, they do a good job of building up on the Are You Scareds.
I do also like some of the lyrics in this one, like fill our eyes with money, vanity, that's cunning.
Yeah.
Only on the surface diamonds look so stunning.
Yeah, there's a bit of a vibe change there, too, in that 2-minute instrumental. That's all right.
I do think it's a little weird to insinuate that a robot can get tired, because that's kind of the whole point, right? Is that, robots are the future. They don't get tired. They don't need lunch and bathroom breaks.
That's true.
So to be like, I know you're getting tired because you're a robot, doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, tired of this.
The robot wouldn't realize, theoretically.
That's a great point. It's a little literal, but...
Unless we're reaching the point where, like, AI sentience we're, like, getting close to Terminator level, like, stuff. I don't know.
That'd be wild.
We had some cowbell in the next track.
Oh, Lotus? Yeah. Tiny Little Robots always ends up being forgettable, but Lotus is another one of those tracks that I end up liking a little more.
Oh, okay.
Middle top tier, yeah.
I really like the instrumentation on Lotus. I think the instrumentation is what makes Lotus maybe stand out a little more.
Big time. Because it's not so one note, heavy, fast all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little change in there. The drums are really great. But what's interesting about Lotus is it mostly hangs on 1 chord, 2 chords when it changes. Like, there's not a lot of melodic movement in Lotus, despite its arrangement changing.
Yeah, but the arrangement changes, the tempo changes. They make good use of like resting, like where there's like the whole song just stops for a second.
It's true.
And even if you're doing the same like chords, they change up how those chords are being presented. And so it's almost not even that noticeable unless you're really looking for it.
No, unfortunately I usually am. But if the song was any longer than 3 1/4 minutes, I might get fatigued by it.
I can see that.
But it's not. They knew when to pull the plug. So Lotus kind of hangs on as a memorable moment. Although it doesn't seem to be super enduringly popular with like the Spotify streamers. Not at least as much as Back Against the Wall. That one has a weird amount of popularity. It was the 4th single, and it did top the alternative charts in 2010, making it Cage the Elephant's first #1 hit. It also did some numbers on the US Rock Songs chart, went into the top 130 in the UK and 92 in Canada, and it's certified platinum today. But I think the reason the song is popular now, I mean, back then it was popular because it was popular, but I feel like one of the reasons it's been enduring is because it's also in Vampire Diaries and in One Tree Hill. I think it's smart to put a quieter, softer song in the middle, and at least like the verses are quieter and softer. It does pick up and move a little bit, but it's a bit of a breath of fresh air.
Sure.
Unfortunately, a lot of the more upbeat sections of most of these songs start to bleed together and be a little samey to me.
They sure do.
It's like, I talked about how they're kind of like the Strokes. I think Cage the Elephant sometimes takes a lot of the things that I didn't like about the Strokes and does that a lot. Like, the Strokes had a very one-note kind of sound too, in a lot of ways, but theirs didn't seem to get quite as stale as Cage the Elephant's does. But Back Against the Wall is fun. In the music video, the band fights off some of their grandma's garden gnomes. Then we get into Drones in the Valley, an anti-war song with a kicking guitar line. One of the last bright spots on the album for me. Not the last one, but we're getting down to the wire here. I enjoy Drones in the Valley, and it's a shame that Drones in the Valley, Lotus, Ain't No Rest for the Wicked are some of my top songs from this album, and they are the shortest. The times that I like what the album and the band is doing the most are the times that I have to savor it the most intently because it's gone so quick. Drones in the Valley, obviously, great guitar line, great drums. Rhythmically, I really enjoy it. And lyrically, it is so intense.
Yeah.
Fresh smell of death on your tongue. You bait the hook, and here come the children, another gravestone to sell while you get rich in the valley of hell. Yikes. It's dark. Needlessly dark. It's so interesting. I don't know. This is a band of 20-something, like, plumbers and tradesmen singing about the horrors of war in vivid detail. Like, something about that is just a little incongruous to me. They just have a lot to say.
I can see why this is the third most popular track on the album. Even though it's probably not my third favorite track, you can see the mass appeal.
It's in my top 5.
Oh, it's definitely top 5. I just don't think it's top 3.
Oh, so it's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And once we get past Drones in the Valley, again, we kind of get back literally into the valley here of just loud, washed out songs, I think, with Judas. Judas takes me right back to the Tiny Little Robots and James Brown of it all. You got your hands in the devil's pockets, like Judas.
Better make sure those pockets don't get ripped off.
Yeah, don't get those pockets stolen. Stealing the devil's pockets will really get you in trouble.
Or, honestly, he might be one of those things that he respects you for doing.
Yeah, it's a bold move.
Like, bold move. I like it.
How would you like a promotion? Yeah. Judas is fine, but it strikes me as kind of unimpressive. How did you feel about it compared to Lady Gaga's Judas?
I like Gaga better.
Really?
Oh, was that did you think I was going to go differently on that?
No, I wholeheartedly, at least half-heartedly agree. Maybe not wholeheartedly.
Oh, okay. The way you said really had sounded like a bit of a judgment.
Really? Oh, man.
To it. You're insane.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted your really.
Yeah, I know. That's how you were meant to interpret it.
Oh.
You had to kill to gain control, but at least you made some money. Let the good times roll.
At this point, I mean, we're kind of just hitting the same themes.
We really are. I mean, Judas is an infamous traitor, and then immediately we get Backstabbin' Betty, another traitor, another backstabber.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, and it's like, this isn't even the first, don't be greedy and only care about money song either, so.
No, coming off the anti-war Drones in the Valley, too. It's the same.
Yeah.
And Tiny Little Robots was break free from the control, and
again, it's one of those classic examples where even though it may be standard, this many songs is probably a bit too many for what this, like, it seems like I tend to prefer a tight set of songs on an album than just a whole bunch of songs that are doing the same thing over and over.
Beating it to death.
So while some of these songs are probably still good enough to release on like a different album or as just a single on its own or an EP or something, I just think you could make the album better if some of these weren't here.
I hear that. Yeah. And it's never good when the album feels like it gets stronger by cutting songs.
Yeah.
But I feel that. Yeah. Backstabbin' Betty. It's another very dissonant song. Kind of bluesy, kind of rolling around in the mud and muck. It's very interesting in that way. Musically, you don't listen to a lot of music that sounds like this. And I don't know, there's kind of a reason for that. It's not like a pleasant listening experience to necessarily hear all this dissonance all the time. Now, does it back up the messaging well? Yeah. Does it kind of give them a unique flavor as an artist? Yeah. But we're deep into the runtime of the album now. And at some point, parts of it just get a little unpleasant, a little much to continuously digest. Even though the rhythmic chanting of the choruses are kind of addictive.
I will say, I was intrigued by the start of Backstabbin' Betty.
Yeah.
This kind of train getting up to speed kind of vibe is what I got out of the beginning.
Yep, that's classic blues stuff, man.
Yep, just chugging along. Chung, 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 chung. All the way up to even when the guitar comes in with the bump, bum. It almost sounded like the horn on a train. Like,
Yep.
Even though Backstabbin' Betty is not unique to the album, it might be the one that stays for me.
Interesting. The dissonance kind of makes it memorable.
Yeah.
I was listening to the beginning again after you said that, and it kind of strikes me as almost like a Honky Tonk Women clone.
Oh.
Like you tried to copy Honky Tonk Women and didn't have enough toner in it, so it came out a little wonky. Is how that beginning kind of feels.
You were out of black ink, so you printed it in dark blue.
Yeah.
I can get that vibe.
Yeah, it's all right. Backstabbin' Betty's all right, but I can understand that it might stick around.
Nah, I like Backstabbin' Betty. I think it's more than all right. I like Backstabbin' Betty. I wouldn't say I love it.
Okay. I think I get relieved when we move on to Soil to the Sun.
Yeah, are you a big Sun guy?
Well, I mean, I coexist with the sun for many hours a day, but also it's a thematic pivot. There's a change here. And finally, we're not talking about traitors and backstabbers and the horrors of war. Like, he's having a dream. We get to kind of exist in a dream world for a minute. And it's still not, I mean, pretty, right?
I was going to say, some dream.
The dead climb out from the graves in the blood red moon and they scream. But it's like, oh, a dream. And it's not like, this is harsh reality. This is just like allegorical. The sun crashed down to the ground. The moon rose up to the sky, blood red. It's a singier song too. A little more melody, a little less chant. Just very interesting. Kind of a jumble of lyrics.
Nature's trying to call.
Up next, depending on what version of the album you're listening to, is the last track, Free Love. If you're listening to the CageTheElephant.com bonus track expanded edition, there's one more. But Free Love is up next, and this is the last bright spot for me on the album.
Dang. Throwing shade at the bonus track already. We're not even there.
Well, I don't know if, to be honest, I cannot remember. Because the deluxe edition is one track, cannot remember which one I listened to for the first time way back in the day and which one I scored way back in 2020. And it might not have included Cover Me Again. Full transparency, I might have only been listening to it for the first time like this month. But Free Love, I think, is a great spot for this album.
Yeah.
I think it's all the good things I like about Cage the Elephant, absent a lot of the things that have been taxing me through the first 10 tracks on this record.
Ooh.
The energy is up. It's fun, it's fast, it's rowdy. There's some chanting and some yelling, but the messaging is a little lighter and more easy to stomach. I just like the arrangement, too. There's a lot of sound, and then he backs off, sings over drums, and the instruments kind of accent it. Free Love would be in my top 5-ish.
I also think this would have made a great closing track.
Yeah, I feel like it's a fine closing track. The bonus track is simply, it's for the big fans. There's a reason the bonus track didn't make the album.
It is kind of crazy that you hit, you're basically through all the lyrics by the 2-minute mark, and you got another minute and a half of the song that's just instrumentation and some chanting of Free Love. I think just like how we started with 45 seconds of instrumentation at the beginning of the album, we end with it. I think that was a great full circle.
It's just a party.
It's just a party. But yeah, then they had to go and tack on a bonus track.
Yeah, a bonus track that's really reminded me of Van Morrison with its gentle acoustic style.
Oh.
It's not much like the rest of this album at all. It doesn't fit on this album. So instead of ending with Free Love, if you go for bonus tracks, Cover Me Again kind of ends up being a little sideways and out of place.
Yeah, there's another one that should be on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but yeah, I get that. Well, you ready to final spin?
Sure.
Sure. Great. I don't know. I just heard so much about Cage the Elephant back in the day. Everyone talked about them. All their music was kind of big at different times and in different eras. And I don't know. I just felt like it was time to check them out. I was underwhelmed by their debut album. I tried to press forward into Melophobia, and I found it a little bit better. But yeah, even all these years later, I'm still not sure what about Cage the Elephant self-titled album doesn't quite scratch that itch, but it really doesn't scratch that itch for me. I think it's got good bones. I think the band has a lot of promise, but the whole album just feels loud. It feels fast. It feels hectic. In a way, sometimes that's good. Sometimes I like that in an album, but Cage the Elephant here just does it in a way that feels unstructured and a lot, like it's trying to be a lot, just for a lot's sake. I think my scores for this album make a lot more sense if you consider them out of tens instead of hundreds. To put them on a 100 scale feels brutal. And so I think it's best to consider them out of tens, which obviously you can convert to 100 just by adding a 0 at the end. But think of it in a lower scale situation. I'm giving the music a 3.8 out of 10. I think there's some good musical moments here. Some stuff like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked and In One Ear and Lotus. Like, there's some good moments, but a lot of the album is just yelling and chanting. There are a handful of melodies, but a lot of it kind of blends together. There's a lot of dissonance in here. There's a lot of moments that get played out with one chord for a long time or one or two chords alternating for a long time. So a 3.8 out of 10 on music. The lyrics I'm giving a 4.2. They, again, are just so ambitious with what they try and tackle. They take a lot of big swings, and I think it just comes up with a lot of big misses. The lyrics are crammed into here like sardines to fit into some of the spaces they allot for the verses. It's like they haven't really thought about when to breathe. They haven't really thought about too much lyrical structure, so much as, oh, this is a cool line and how I want to say this thing, and they've kind of shoved it in there where, I want to say where it'll fit, but honestly where it might not even fit the best. 4.2 for the lyrics, with, again, some silver linings. Some silver linings like A Sunny Day They're Gonna Come For You, and most of Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, and, you know, there's moments. But that's just so heavy-handed. As for the instruments and production, I'm giving a 4.6. A lot of this album is really, sharp, very bright, very little low end happening in the mix. The whole thing kind of feels muddy. The vocals get drowned out some of the time, and that's probably why they have to yell and chant and scream so much. There are moments where they mix up the instrumentation in really captivating ways, but those ways stand out because they're so different from the din of the rest of this album. So a 4.6 for the instruments and the production. And the overall vibe, I'm giving a 5.3 out of 10. I think this album, it's not too terribly long, and it feels very much like it fits in the 2009 music ecosystem, but it's almost a chore to listen to a lot of this album. It's preaching at you, it's yelling at you, it is pulling no punches in a way that's just like not what I necessarily want. There are, again, big hits here, right? But a couple big hits does not a good album make, like I said before. So overall, Cage the Elephant's self-titled debut album here is getting a 4.4 out of 10 from me, which translates to, again, it sounds much worse when you say 44 out of 100.
44 out of 100?
Yeah, that lands it on my ranking spreadsheet
Pretty low.
at number 860, and dropping every time I put an album above it.
Dang.
Yeah, I know, it's low.
It's been... You do not bring albums this low hardly at all.
No, and I wanted to
the podcast. I love it when you do. It's fun.
I wanted to see if the Year of Redemption could be a chance to redeem this lower album for me, right? One that I didn't like. I wondered if I would like it more. Coming back to it, learning more about it.
Sounds like not.
Not much. I kind of stand by a lot of the scores. I like knowing more about the band. I'm open to giving them even a third chance on one of their newer albums and, seeing how Neon Pill is shaken up in a different, 2 decades after the decade of Cage the Elephant, right? This one came out in 2009. Neon Pill is from the 2020s. So maybe that one would fare a little better, but I don't know. As far as albums that we've done on the podcast, yeah, this one ranks below America by 30 Seconds to Mars, which again was an interesting pick that I only brought for the novelty of having a low score. But it's above Nothing. Cage the Elephant, this self-titled album is one of my...
Whoa!
Yeah, it's one of my bottom 5 albums on the list right now. And so far, that's the lowest scoring episode we've ever done.
So it's not the very bottom? It's just in the bottom 5?
It's in the bottom 5. There are 4 below it on my list currently.
Whoa.
But we haven't done episodes on them. Not yet. And compared to Melophobia is still not the greatest, but it's number 835. It's jumped up 30-some spots in the rankings. It's got a 70.4 instead of something in the 40s. So that would move them up above the nice, but it's still down there. That's me. I'm waiting to see what your playlist pick is before I make mine. There are only 3 or 4 options, as far as I'm concerned, for what I would want on the playlist from this album.
Okay.
But what did you think of Cage the Elephant? That's just me. You could have really loved this.
I didn't.
No, well, no, but you could have.
No, but I do think I liked it better than you.
I think I listened to it with fonder ears now, but the score was a little tough.
I think this album is about as mediocre as it gets. There's nothing here that really, thinking to put it in context of episodes we have done, Wu-Tang Clan or Kid A or even like Janis Joplin level, just like where things about the album just I hated or completely just disliked. There's not really anything here that was just nails on a chalkboard for me, but there was very little that was, if any, that were like Elton John, Billy Joel, Fish in a Birdcage level stuff for me either. So this is about as middle of the pack as you can get in terms of like episodes we've done.
Sure.
In my opinion. Which, it's neither good nor bad. Middle of the packs, we've done a lot of episodes.
We have. It's just, it doesn't provoke strong feeling, even though I think that is where it fails the most. It obviously wants to provoke very strong feelings from you, and it just can't.
My top 3 in album order, in one ear.
And right out the other.
Ain't No Rest for the Wicked.
Yep.
Back Against the Wall.
Interesting. That's where we deviate.
Is my honorable mention. And my final top 3, Backstabbin' Betty.
Wow, you really did come around to that one.
Yeah, I told you I liked Backstabbin' Betty.
Well, she's going to stab you in the back. You shouldn't like her. Or if you like her, don't trust her.
To be fair, you said Back Against the Wall was in your top 5.
Yeah, but this is Backstabbin' Betty.
No, I know. I'm just saying you said we diverged. I was backing up to where you said we diverged.
Oh.
On Back Against the Wall. So if you said it was top 5 and I put it at number 4, making it my honorable mention, that means we just diverged by 1.
Lotus is really the one that I would have kept in the mix. And maybe I'd reconsider James Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's my top 3 playlist pick. I'm taking In One Ear.
Oh, I can get behind that. That's good. If you're taking that, I'd be tempted to go for something like Lotus or Free Love, but just something that I'm always going to be able to listen to when it comes up on the playlist. Like, I think I need to take Ain't No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah, I think that's the move. In One Ear and Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. I love it.
Yeah, anxious to hear this one. What does a perfectly middle of the road album score for you?
That's pretty easy. That's a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. It's not in the middle of all the albums we've scored, but that is in the middle of what you'd score.
Well, no, because you tend to bring higher scoring albums.
That's pretty true.
So that's your bias. But my score is a very clear 1 through 10. Middle of the pack album, middle of the scores.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. Well, you look at most of my scores, and they were slightly under a 5, but I mean, the vibe score got a 5. 4.4 out of 10 is where mine would translate, so totally understand that.
As for a unit, I'm thinking this is an easy 5 bear-sized units out of 10.
Bear-sized units, that's not bad. What about Danny DeVito-sized units? Would you rather have an album that was 5 bear-sized units or
5 Danny DeVito-sized?
5 unit-sized Danny DeVitos? I lost the joke in there somewhere.
Ridiculous.
5 bear-sized units or 5 unit-sized bears is the real joke, but I wanted to say Danny DeVito again.
Just bear-sized units or Danny DeVito-sized units?
Yeah.
Or unit-sized Danny DeVito's?
He'd be so small.
Not if the units were bear-sized. You could have unit-sized Danny DeVito's and bear-sized units be the same thing.
They're infinitely the same size. Where in your 5s is it going? There aren't very many albums in there.
No. It's gonna go right above Enema of the State by Blink-182.
I so deeply disagree with that. Enema of the State. It's like in the same kind of genre wheelhouse as this album, but it's so much stronger and better. Wow. But okay.
Well, apparently I didn't think so back on episode 182 when I gave it 5 dysenteric ferrets. So, sorry.
That's true. You did. I'll have to go back and re-listen to remember what you didn't like about it as much.
I'll be honest, I'd have to go re-listen to Enema of the State. I could be open to the idea of this going below it instead of above it, but this definitely goes above Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator.
That's fair. All the small things alone, in my mind, sets Enema of the State above Cage the Elephant.
Yeah, but I mean, so you're saying one song. You're not comparing one song to an album, right?
Well, then there's Adam's
This is supposed
song.
to be album versus album. I'm just saying that to me, the performance of the album Enema of the State is about as mediocre of a performance as Cage the Elephant's album.
Well,
even though Blink-182 has some songs on it that maybe would outperform every song on Cage the Elephant, when comparing just the album to the album, they're probably pretty darn similar in my head.
okay.
But I could go either way, above or below Enema of the State.
Well, I'll let you commit your war crimes. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So if you put it above Enema of the State, whereas this would be my lowest scoring episode ever, this becomes your 22nd lowest. There are 21 albums that you've scored worse than this.
Yeah.
Over the course of 219 episodes.
But it's middle of the pack.
Yeah, one of the bottom 25, middle of the pack.
We just don't do a lot of stuff in the lower half of the pack.
That's very true. But there you have it. That's the Cage the Elephant episode. That's respectable. Honestly, a little higher than I thought you'd give it, and I'm glad that you were so open-minded about it. Not that you knew going in that it was one I didn't like. For all you knew, probably I could have come in and said, this is my favorite album ever.
Well, I mean, my third lowest score is your like third highest, so it really could have gone either way.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're bringing up Radiohead wounds again, huh? Just you wait. Anyway, that's for the future. For now, we got to deal with the present. Hope you had fun listening to this episode. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe. Rate us some stars. You could do 5s, you could do 100s, you could do 10s. Whatever you got. Whatever, it doesn't matter your scale. What matters is your passion.
Yeah.
You can find us on social media. @SpinItPod official on Instagram and @SpinItPod on X. And you can find us on our website, www.spinitpod.com. Stay tuned for more fun things. I'm excited about next week, and I'm even more excited about the week after that. Ooh, man.
Tell a friend about the podcast.
Yeah.
Tell a friend who you think should be caged.
Oh, cage the friend and make them listen. Don't do that.
Oh, I mean, go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
Well,
I'm not going to encourage it either, but...
I'm not going to encourage it. Just if you do that, don't let us know about it.
The other option was to say, tell your most middle-of-the-pack friend.
You could do that too. Cage your most middle-of-the-pack friend and do it that way. Why not both?
Why not both?
Weird. Anyway, we'll see you next week. And until then, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And just like that, I think you should keep spinning. One episode at a time. Keep spinning one episode at a time. All right, now, I promised the people that you would do an elephant impression.
Well, don't make promises you can't keep.
You've held off this long on doing your elephant impression. Please, this is only for the dedicated people that stayed while the credits are rolling.
All right, for the dedicated people.
Whoa! No wonder you didn't do that in the episode. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was just for you, the loyal fans.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that. Was that your toy elephant?
I keep it caged.
I keep that part of me caged. Sounds like you should see a therapist or something about that. Like the 13th year, but instead of becoming a mermaid, you become an elephant. The 28th year.